Hey guys, Ryan Cozy. I hope and pray that everybody's doing well. Looking forward to Austin, looking forward to seeing all you guys. Hey, as you know, recently Jason or myself has contacted you and sent you some information in regard to what we are looking for in a regional coordinator. And as we met recently in Chicago a few weeks back, we kind of came to a realization that when we started to assess, well, where are relationships at right now? Where is our presence in certain regions? We started to think, okay, practically speaking, when we get to Austin, why don't we have discussions around places where we actually have traction? And so that's why we have reached out to you all as individuals, and we are asking for you to guide us in a conversation when we get to Austin during a breakout session. I've copied our national delivery team guys on this. That's Jason and myself, but also our directional team, Tim, Scott, and Jerry. I just want them to be in the communicative loop on this. A couple of things I want you to know. We're going to be sending you this document, and it's hopefully going to be written in a way. Tim Hawks had a great way of saying this, and so I'm going to say it. I'm just going to steal it, but I want to give credit to where it needs to go. Make it so that Shipman can read it. And so that's what we're trying to do in this. I understand that sometimes in my writing, you know, I can just kind of perhaps be in a different place, I guess. And so we're just trying to make it so that things are so tangibly understandable that we can give it to anybody and they'll understand it. So that's my desire in that. Jamie and Jason have helped me greatly with that, and so hopefully that'll be helpful for you. Okay, real quickly, the singular focus that we're asking you to be locked in on. Tim Hawks, again, just had a really good observation, which is like, if there's one thing that we want them to be locked and loaded on, it's the following: that the singular focus for you all should be on building a team of pastors and spiritual leaders capable of reducing the spiritual lostness in your area by saturating the geography with repeated opportunities for people to hear, see, and respond to the gospel. Okay? Now that's probably, we can synthesize that a little bit better, make it a little more succinct, but right now I'm just pointing this out and highlighting it because that's what we want for you. If you're ever wondering, what am I supposed to do as a regional coordinator? That's the goal. That's what we want you to be locked and loaded on. Now, this document, just so you can see, we focus on a couple of key questions here. Number one, who do we want for you to be? That's what we try to answer that in this document. What do we want you to be responsible for? Try to help you with that. What regions do we have people in, and who are those people that might be able to help you? We list a handful of folks. Now, you probably know people in your regions more than we do, and so you're probably going to look at our list and say, well, yeah, I knew those people, or you know, maybe get one or two others. But we're trying to help you be aware of these are people we see as leaders in your region. They might be able to help you. Go find others as well. What are we asking of you in regard to Austin? I'm going to hit on that in just a couple moments here. What's the time frame that we're asking for people to serve in this role? We hit on that. And then finally, what can we offer you currently as you start on this journey? So what I want to do is, again, comb through this, get familiar with it as best you can, but we kind of go through, what do we want you to be about? What do we want you to be responsible for? Who are people in your geography? And then we come upon, like, what are we asking of you in Austin? And I think that this is really important. So I'm going to hit a couple of things here. Number one, we are going to have a breakout session in Austin. We're going to gather people around their geographies. We're going to ask them to survey their area. We need leaders to guide that discussion. We need you to guide that discussion. We're asking you to lead this time. In essence, the way that Christ Together is set up, there is no way that a hierarchical structure is that we cannot sustain leading the regions. We need the regions to lead the regions. And so that's kind of what we're hoping that Austin, in addition to a handful of other things, but we're really hoping that Austin will really set the ethos in that regard, that it will be really clear for everybody to understand we need the regions to lead leaders in the regions. Okay? And so we want you to think about a couple of things. We want you to think about key cities. We want you to think about key people. We want you to have thought about these things before Austin. We want you to think about key networks, denominations, other ministries. We want you to think about what you think needs to happen as you prayerfully consider your region over the next couple of years. You know, I throw out 1-year benchmark, 3-year benchmark, 5-year. These are just examples. I'm not saying that you have to be married to those. You need to own your geography in the way that you're going to own it and lead others to own it. But we're just trying to throw ideas out there. And we want you to think about how you're going to assess progress along the way. You know, Dwight always talked with us about, how do you know what success is? And I think that that's a question that, as you are a regional leader, you're going to have to help us understand what success is in that geography. Okay, and so we're asking for you to lead in those areas very specifically. Finally, I want to just focus on, what are we giving you currently to start the journey? Okay, well, first off, we're going to give you the names of the people that we think are helpful. That's mentioned above. One of the things I think is really interesting, and this is hyperlinked, so you can actually just click on it in the document. We're going to give you a list of the top 366 metropolitan areas in the United States. The reality is, how many of them are in your region? That map in Atlanta, that's a really important map to us right now. I wonder how many MSAs are in your regions. I don't know the answer to that. I think it'd be awesome if you knew the answer to that and you did some homework on those regions before we got together in November. One of the things I think we should encourage people to think about is just highways and interstates. There's a reason that they were set up in such a way, and most cities have hubs around those interstates. So take a look at maps and think about maybe the interstates affect you. Who knows? The reality is, some of you may have already thought about this stuff, and you can help others in different regions with this. Okay. The other thing I'd say is, we offer you help in terms of data. In the past, I give out Percept reports. I'm still willing to do that. We do have new Census Bureau information, which I think is really awesome, and I'm excited to have that. So that's updated, and I'd be more than willing to help you with that. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to ask you to reach out to me to specifically ask questions about what you want. I'm not going to just start throwing stuff out there because I don't know what's going to help you. I want to help you own your geography in the way that you know what you want, and I can help you get that. Okay, I would say that there's a great open source and free site called city-data.com. It's a really good one. Also, the Federal Census Bureau, the United States Government Census Bureau, all their information is updated governmentally, and there's some really good stuff in there. It's a little tough to navigate, but there's some good stuff in there. Finally, we have a listing of churches that we're going to give you, examined by all leaders, where we look at what churches are in your region, what's the size of the existing church in your region. And again, I want to be sensitive here. I'm not saying that size is the only thing that matters in terms of the mobilization of the church. But the reality is, if you have some churches that have size and that have resources and can help you, wouldn't you want to know where they are? Okay. Then finally, the level of buy-in, and I actually think that this is really important. Right now, as it stands, we have over 1,500 relationships that we've documented in the United States, but only 300 of those relationships are listed as a level 3 relationship. And that means they not only have buy-in, but they're doing things that we should probably take some time to understand more. And I'd say, man, who are the level 3 relationships in your regions? And how well do you know those people? And how well do you need to get to know those people? So this document, I want you to comb through it, gang. I just wanted to give an introductory email or video in regard to this. So I hope that this is helpful. And please don't hesitate to reach out to either Jason or myself as you're thinking about this document. We need you to help us immensely in Austin this November. God bless you, gang.